Welcome to the book of Galatians. I'm so glad you're still on this journey with us, and keep it up. You're doing a great job. We are in the book of Galatians, and the book of Galatians has been called the Magna Carta of the Christian faith. Why? Because it is a book all about our liberty in Jesus Christ. Did you know that Jesus makes you free indeed? He sure does. The Apostle Paul wrote this letter to some people struggling to understand that. During one of his first missionary journey, the Apostle Paul went through a portion of the Roman Empire at the time called Asia Minor. And there were tribal regions there, pagan regions there, and one of those were the people of Galatia. So they came out of heavy paganism. They came out of a very works-based system. And so a group called the Judaizers came in. Now, what is a Judaizer? Well, you'll probably hear more about that as we move along. I'll have to talk about them even more. They're a sorry group of people. That's what they were. They were people who were Jews that converted to Christianity. But when Paul was preaching the message of Christ, they'd come behind him and say, no, Paul didn't have it all the way right. You have to become a Jew first, and then you become a Christian. And so you have to submit to all things Judaism. So they were Judaizers. And it sounded very attractive to these Galatians, insomuch that they started abandoning what Paul told them. And that's the very first thing that you read right out of the box. He says, how in the world has this happened? Who has bewitched you? And then he moves on to how we now have liberty in the Lord Jesus Christ. It's a very important book, and God used it to shape portions of my life to make sure that I was living in freedom. I was living in liberty. Listen, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to make Jesus love you more or want you more. I'm telling you, he loves you just as you are. Now, sanctification is going to be a process, but there's nothing that you can do to work extra to get extra more grace. He gave you all of it. He gave you his very best. And then from there, and that's what the letter is all about. Then from there, he moves into how we treat each other as fellow Christians toward the end. And I hope you'll pay attention to that section as well. It is vital that we know how to treat each other. Since we know how to live by grace, well, now God's people then give grace. That is Galatians in miniature. Again, have a blast reading this book, and may God bless you on your journey.